It's been a long road coming here. So many franchises, so many abilities, but now it is time to grab those with those certain powers and put them against each other that share the same subcategory of abilities. This is the Explosive User Tournament, and to have this as something to start off with, it definitely was not easy. I can tell you that. From being an Explosive User Tournament, I picked a total of 8 contenders with explosive abilities. These fighters were chosen due to a mix of popularity and personal interest. So, let's get down to those fighters. Katsuki Bakugo from My Hero Academia, a student from UA with the quirk Explosion. Genthru from Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, like how I say it, leader of the Bomb Devils with the ability to give his aura explosive properties. Solf J. Kimbley from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, a highly skilled former state alchemist with the ability to use an explosion type of alchemy. Deidara from Naruto Shippuden. Deidara is an S-rank ninja from the Akatsuki. He possesses the explosion release Kekkei Genkai. Olya Komova from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run. Olya Komova is a terrorist with the stand Boku no Rizamo Kite Kure that has the ability of contact bombs. Karasu from Yu Yu Hakusho. A member of Team Toguro, Karasu is a B-class demon with the ability to turn his demon energy into bombs. Robert Hunter, or Nitro from Marvel, the catalyst for the famous Civil War in the comics, and he blows up. That's his whole, he just blows up. And for our final contender, Yoshikawa Kira from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, a serial killer wanting to live a peaceful life with his stand, Killer Queen, the stand with the ability to turn anything into a bomb. Now that we're introduced to all of our characters, the only thing we have left is how we're going about the fights. How I'm approaching this is that if both characters possess more than 2 conditions, or you guys know them as like modes, then that will be involved in the speculation. If only one character has more than 2 conditions, then they'll only be used if the other character with only one condition can beat the other modes. So, and also the seeding is done in a way that the strongest users of all of this will not instantly go against each other, and the rest was done by random. With that being said, let's start this off with round 1. Now, this is a popular character versus a character that should be known massively. I think that's one of the things that I wish was implemented into the cinematic universe, but that would have to do with a lot of X-Men type deals and what Marvel didn't have access to around that time, but that's just a side note. Nitro is a reasonably well villain, both in aspects of popularity and strength before the mutant growth hormone, but that hormone makes him push his boundaries to his self-explosive ability. The thing is, I don't believe he has anything that'd be able to combat Deidara in terms of range and speed. At a potential max, Nitro could explode at the speed of around Mach 20 to 25. In terms of distance, with one explosion, he can get rid of an entire town, which was something I was debating on when looking at the comics, but when I was referred to the cinematic used in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, it gives you a strong idea on how large the explosion was. It was bigger than the town itself.
Oh baby, don't you even know? You're playing with the big boys now.
So while you have hypersonic town level, or even bigger than that, you have those type of explosions, you have higher speed reactions going against that. Deidara is known for his artful explosions, but his ability to fly with his clay explosives is something on its own when it comes to these fights. There's not really much Nitro can do when it comes to that. Now, if you were to have regular Nitro without the mutant growth hormone, he would have been demolished since he has no direct answer to Deidara's clay. While he can transform himself into a gaseous state after an explosion, once he's back into his human form, he's as vulnerable as any other human, and that goes for pre-hormone and post-hormone. Also, if you were to continuously attack Nitro, he's unable to use his explosions. From how Wolverine describes it, it's because you're technically in the eye of the hurricane, so he's unable to fight back against Wolverine. If Deidara was able to attack either forms with a large amount of clay to smother him, that would just be the end of Nitro. And adding on to Nitro's case, he can only explode so many times before he's exhausted himself or made himself slower due to fatigue. Now, Nitro being slower than Deidara from the beginning is bad, but Nitro making himself even more tired without any strain on Deidara is even worse. So, We're going to leave that battle with Deidara being the winner of the first fight. Now we're going on to the next one. Karasu versus Genthru. The explosive works of Togashi, and I believe that this makes this more interesting on the Yu Yu Hakusho side. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of the franchises where certain important feats are made questionable due to how the anime timing makes it work, like how if you were supposed to say a feat happened in the blink of an eye, but the anime slows it down to the effect of 5 seconds. As a comparison, you have to believe that Karasu is faster than Genthru. The match with Kurama and being a B-class demon gives credibility, but what if we were to just equal this speed and have it relied on abilities and strength? Karasu outmatches Genthru if that's the case. Karasu would never have to make contact with Genthru, and along with that, he wouldn't be able to see the bombs being used. Plus, Genthru making contact is more of a disadvantage than an advantage, if that's supposed to be his focus of the battle, which it is. Then he gets blindsided easier than expected. Getting rocked by Gon in the instance where he blew his arms up showed how vigilant he was, and if he's going to have Karasu near him, then that's pretty much the end of Genthru. Long range, Genthru loses. Close range, Genthru loses. Now if you're going to let him see the contact bombs with Gyo, if that's possible, how would that fare? Well, long range, he still has the tray size and the deleterious bomb. Close range, he has his explosive touch and his other outputs of spirit energy. He could even blow himself up if need be, and it doesn't affect him since it's a discharge. That would be a lot for Genthru though. That's saying even if he actually got Karasu to power up, but it's unlikely that he'd even be able to get him in there. Finalizing this, Genthru massively relies on being able to have contact with his opponents. If he doesn't have that contact, then that's not going to work for him at all in any case. And plus, the man against him is even faster, and he can't get any contact on him, then that's pretty much it for Genthru. There's literally nothing else he can do. So, with that being said, on that part, for this match, you're going to have Karasu being the winner, because honestly, did you really expect Genthru to win out of all this? It's not his game. Maybe if he went against Kira, that'd be cool, but even then still get destroyed. For the next one, Bakugo versus Kimbley. Now, this is going to be one of the ones that I was speaking about previously. Since Bakugo technically has more than one form, we're going to use the multiple forms of Bakugo too. Here's an issue I faced in this match. It's durability. It should be easy with me saying that Bakugo has extremely better durability than Kimbley since he has the feats to back it up, but I feel like there's an issue here. This is the issue I have with My Hero feats sometimes, because it happens to be a common issue, but the durability in My Hero is due to them not being like regular people in terms of strength. With alchemy, regular people become regular people, but with power. But with quirks, you become more stronger and more durable than the average human, and I feel that the explosions coming from Kimbley are more concentrated in power than Bakugo's, but in every other factor, I believe that Bakugo's winning the rest. And adding on this to the more My Hero and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, no, you're going to have more gory moments with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood than you ever will with My Hero. So things that should happen won't happen at all, and that stacks onto the term of durability. So them not being able to get affected by insert thing here means that they would be durable in that aspect, because that verse is now more durable than average humans as a whole. So there that goes on that. And back to the topic, this is me referring to Kimbley with the Philosopher's Stone, since Kimbley without it does not stand a chance. Bakugo should be vigilant enough to notice that Kimbley requires his hands making contact with something for his power to work. I know there's people thinking that Bakugo is the type to just jump into a battle with no strategy, but that's just them not giving him credit. The guy takes apart situations to where even if he knows that the odds are against him, he'll think of a way out, or where it's at least him coming out of it, possibly. It depends on what arc you're watching or reading. It's not just someone using their power with no knowledge and just throwing out explosions here and there. With Kimbley, if he's relying on getting his hands on Bakugo, then it's going to be a difficult fight for him. Trying to attack him with explosions that can only come from where he makes contact with can leave him with a disadvantage against Bakugo too. especially since Bakugo can propel himself into the air and completely avoid the ground. I'd also like to approach this with the same Kimbley that went against Alphonse and not the one against Scar, since he lost that fight definitely just by focusing on something else out of the issue, and that says a lot about his character. If he's gonna try to match up against Bakugo and start figuring out what the heck he's going on, he's gonna lose thought. After that, just get bodied, but I wasn't talking about that. The only issue I see now is with speed and the Philosopher's Stone. I believe that Kimbley could severely damage Bakugo when he has the Philosopher's Stone, but that's if he's making contact. Attacking the ground under Bakugo is futile, and I don't see Bakugo getting close enough to Kimbley to where Kimbley is making contact, since Bakugo doesn't even require it, and he only needs around the middle of short to medium range. Avoiding Kimbley's ground attacks and continuously being able to keep himself out of contact leaves Bakugo with a pretty big advantage. I haven't even brought the howitzer impact into the equation, and with Kimbley being nowhere near as durable as Bakugo, it would destroy him. Remember that everyone can comment their thoughts on how they feel about this fight and all the fights that goes around in this forms. That goes with any fight mentioned, and I also like some information that supports the losing characters enough to the point where I can even change the outcome of the fight. But when it comes to this fight, I'm on the side of Bakugo taking it, adding on his forms and what moves he gets with that. It doesn't make Kimbley's case any better, since there's only regular Kimbley and Philosopher's Stone Kimbley, and the only probable one you want is Philosopher's Stone Kimbley. So in the end, it's the end of Kimbley and Bakugo takes it. Now we're going on into the next one, the final one. Yoshikage Kira versus Olya Komova. A good old-fashioned stand battle. The original versus the not that bad other version. Some might say it's the better version. Not me though. I like Killer Queen's stand design a lot more, but I also really do like Santana. So, alright. Now, these stands are similar in the aspect that anything they touch becomes a bomb, but the difference is quality and quantity. While Kira has a total of 2 bombs that we can use in this fight, Como has 1 bomb that can be attached to all types of things and with a large amount of them. I see this working to whatever is visible can have a bomb. There was one in his skin, which was a solid, the stream being a liquid, and smoke being a gas. He could even kick up some dirt and have bombs in the dust made. These are potent bombs. Only a few of these had blown up an entire building, but whatever Killer Queen touches and makes into a bomb is completely atomized, so there's that. So, against Killer Queen, how does this all fare? Having them distanced like how you would have boxers to make it fair, and how would they approach? Saying that both of their objectives is to end one another, and Como is not running away in this fight. So Como would want to get his hands on Kira as fast as possible, since he doesn't have access to what he did the first time he was shown. And running up on Kira that's his worst decision possible. Killer Queen blitzes Como immediately and beats him down with having no chance of him recovering from it. I feel Como, both the stand and the user, do better when an environment is filled with life and as many things as possible. For example, imagine if there was a tree away from but between Kira and Como. By touching a branch or a large amount of leaves, he's made a city block bomb that would blow up Kira before he even notices the stand's ability. But I've set these fights in a neutral setting, so I'm not going to add in any special conditions that might benefit one fighter over the other. Killer Queen wins in the hand-to-hand combat, speed, and use of a bomb. If he was to punch Como, he can completely atomize him using his other hand, so there's literally no recovery after the punch. Sheer Heart Attack also easily decimates Como without a chance, but I'm sure I don't even have to bring that into the equation. I know that there's some people thinking that the more bombs you have, the more powerful you are, and that's fine, but in the case of Como, where you need things to put bombs on, it won't work. The stand is good, but the stand is made to use your surroundings, which isn't something you want to rely on in these fights. Though if I was to count his horse into the fight and he wants to turn his only horse into this humongous bomb, then yeah, it works. But as for all the possible fights in this 1v1, Kira wins the majority of it all. Though off of that fight, like right there, I'm definitely giving Como a good old point in Horse versus Kira. That's that's amazing, just the thought of it. Now, since we're finished with all of the battles, that's going to be it for the first round. If you guys have any thoughts on possible game changers, be sure to comment. Also, if possible, if you want to see people that were involved in this and that didn't get to match up each other, didn't get to fight each other due to how it was seeded, basically, I'll be fine with doing that as an offside video. It's still involved in this series, but I'll do that separately from the actual tournament. If you wanted to see Karasu versus Bakugo or Genthru versus Kira, something, just I'll be sure to make note of that, and I'll be making that into a video if a lot of people do want to see something like that on the other characters. The series is something I want to do like once in a while. There are so many characters that share so many abilities and elements, and I want to see who's the best out of a select few. The next video is going to be the second and possible final round. Comment all of your thoughts on and even information about the fights that happen or fights you see happening. I'd like to see what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to stay updated, Twitter for stuff, Discord for similar interests and other people and all that. There are cool people in there, honestly. And Twitch, because the semester is over and I'm back to making videos, I'm back to streaming. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a good old holiday, something. Until the next one, peace out and Godspeed.